Hi P1 and maybe P2 and anybody else who's watching. Boys and girls, because we're not at school, one of the things that I have missed most is reading to you and reading with you and hearing you read. And you know, one of my favourite stories that we would read together is My Naughty Little Sister. And there's one of the stories about my naughty little sister where she goes to school. And I thought, because we can't go to school and see each other, maybe you would like to hear about when my naughty little sister went to school. So here we go. One day, when I was a little girl, my mother had a letter from my granny to say that she was ill in bed and would my mother come over for a day to see her. So my mother wrote a letter to my school teacher to ask if my little sister could come to school with me the next day, as Granny was ill. My teacher said yes, she can come if she will be good. And wasn't my funny little sister pleased? And do you know what she did? She found an old case belonging to my father, and she put in it all the things she thought that she would want for school the next day. She put in a pencil and a rubber and some crayons and some storybooks and an apple and a matchbox and Rosie Primrose, who was her doll. Then she went to bed very quickly like a good girl. She didn't splash about in the bath, or scream when she had her hair done, or grumble about her supper, or say her prayers naughtily, or worry for lots of stories in bed. No, she shut her eyes quickly so as to go to sleep and make tomorrow come as soon as possible. That's what the sensible child did. And in the morning, she got up early and she dressed herself. Yes, even the buttons and her socks, to show the teacher how nicely she could do it. Then, while our mother was getting the breakfast ready, she went out into the garden and she picked a nice bunch of flowers out of her own garden for the teacher. So, for once in a while, she was my good little sister. Well now, when my little sister got to school, she was still being very good. She said, "Good morning," to everyone. She came into school very nicely. And because she looked so good and special, the teacher said she could sit next to me all day. So my little sister sat right down next to me and stared at all the other children in the room. And when she saw them opening their bags and cases and getting out their books and pencil boxes, she opened up her case and took out all her things too. She took out the pencil and the rubber and the crayons and the storybook, but she left the apple and the matchbox and Rosie Primrose in the case because she wanted them for playtime. When school started, my little sister stood up very straight to sing the school hymns, and she shut her eyes very tight for the school prayers. And then she sat down good as good, nice and straight, like the teacher told us to. Then the teacher called out all the children's names, and when each child's name was called, the child said, "Present." My naughty little sister was very surprised, and when my name was called out and I said, "Present" too, she looked. But the teacher didn't call out my little sister's name because she wasn't a real school child. And do you know what my naughty little sister did? She forgot to be a good child, and she started to shout, "I want a present! I want a present!" Wasn't she silly? But after that, my little sister was very good again, and the teacher let her play with some plasticine, which is a bit like Play-Doh. My little sister made a red basket with the plasticine, and the teacher said it was very good and put it on the mantelpiece shelf for everyone to see. Then our teacher read us a story, and my little sister was very interested. And when our teacher asked questions about the story, And all the children put their hands up. My little sister put her hand up too, and all the children laughed. But our teacher said they mustn't laugh, and she asked my little sister a real big child's question about the story, and my little sister gave the right answer. Then our teacher said, as my little sister was such a clever child, she could have 10 out of 10. And you know, 10 out of 10 is a very big and clever thing to have at school. So our teacher wrote 10 out of 10 on a piece of paper for my little sister and put it on the mantelpiece shelf for her with the plasticine basket. And my little sister was a very proud child. When lunchtime came, our teacher let my little sister sit with her. And my little sister was so good that the teacher said all the other children should try to be like her. Wasn't she behaving well? In the afternoon, we all drew pictures with our crayons, and my little sister drew a picture with her crayons. She was very pleased to think that she had brought her own crayons to school. I drew a little house and a tree and a pond. But do you know what my little sister drew? Do you want to guess? She drew the teacher and all the school children. Yes, all of them in the class. The teacher was very pleased to see such a lovely drawing because my little sister had not forgotten anything. She had even put in her plasticine basket and the 10 out of 10 writing. So, teacher said the drawing must go on the mantelpiece shelf too with the other clever things. My little sister drew in the drawing very small next to the plasticine basket, and then the picture was put up for everyone to see. Then we all went out into the playground and did drill, which is a bit like PE. And my little sister did drill as well, and she stood so straight and put her arms so nicely that the teacher let her do it in front of all the class. So you see, she was being a very good child. When we went back into school though and did reading, my little sister got very quiet and very still. And do you know what happened? She fell fast asleep at her desk. She slept and slept right until our mother came to fetch us home, and because she had been so good and no trouble, our teacher let her take home the lovely drawing and the plasticine basket and the 10 out of 10 paper. So in that story, she wasn't really very naughty. She was quite good, wasn't she? Maybe I'll read another one for you another day. It's been a beautiful day. Really, really hot. Mrs. Crooks has got sunshine on her face. And I'm sitting in my library corner, in my little reading corner in my house. So I think I might go outside, have a big drink of water and enjoy some more sunshine.